Today I'd like to introduce you to the +2. That's this unit here, and this is the maximum setup that you'd have using the +2. It's incompatible with the +1 and AP6, so that's something to note. So what we have here is a +1, a +2, a +3 and an electron. The +2 can operate on its own, or with a +1, or with just the electron, or with the setup that you see here. You can see the screen, and you see that all the ROM slots are filled. We've got 4 ROMs here, we've got 2 ROMs there, and we've got 3 ROMs in the AP5. We've also got a SCSI attached, just so show everything working. And if we mount drive 4, we can use the floppy drive as well. We've also got the SD card interface there for MMFS. And that's that working. So you can see there that everything's used, the usual holes here that the operating system and keyboard take up, but obviously you can change and put your own ROMs in there. ROM 5 is a special ROM. That's 8 ROMs in one position, that's selectable by AQR page. At the moment that you see, we've got AFM in there. And we've now got view sheet in there, and these will survive a control break. There's a link inside. If you don't want it surviving with a control break, there's a link inside that will allow it to be reset to 0 every time you do a control break. I can show you the insides. We've got 2 ROM cartridge slots there. We've got an interface for a Pi 1 meg or tube interface. We've got a socket for an RTC real-time clock as fitted to the AP6. All the control logic is in the 3 PLDs there, programmable logic devices. And we've got the ROM 5 there containing the 8 ROM images, and we've got the a 256 or 216K banks in ROM 4, and that changes depending on which mode you've got. So at the moment we've got it in mode 2. So the ROM 4, as you see here, is actually ADFS, and that's because the +3 is plugged in, so we're having to inhibit the ROM 4 in the +2, and that's done with one of these switches on the end. This side switch, switch 1, is the mode select switch, and the switch 2 is for the ROM 4 inhibit. So if we move along and just remove some of the units on here, so we'll set it up so it's operating as a ROM 2, in mode 2. Now mode 2 is really designed for when you're using a +1. So we'll just add that back in and switch on. But of course we need a different power supply. There we go. So now if we look at ROM 4, we've got ADT in there, and that's one half of this ROM 4. But all the rest of the parts are still there. And you notice that these sockets, cartridge sockets, are mapped to 6 and 7 and 14 and 15. So we now can remove the +1 and use it in the mode 1 position. In this position, it acts as a +1. So you see now that the cartridge slots are mapped as a +1 would be in 0, 1, 2 and 3. We've still got ROM 5 there, but ROM 4 now has been mapped to position 12 and contains the +1 support ROM. So that means you've got all the user controls and applications that utilities that are in the normal +1 support ROM. We've also got an optional power supply here. Now when you've got a fully loaded Electron, in other words, as it was shown, +1, +2, +3 and the Electron, with all the cartridges loaded and maybe the AP5 fully loaded with 2 user ports, a tube interface and the 1 meg bus port, then the poor old Electron power supply is probably groaning a little. So what we've done is we've added an optional power supply here that you can use, and this comes with a 2 amp 9 volt power block, feeds into this connector, goes to the regulator here which outputs 5 volts, which is split into 2. At the moment these links here link the power to the +1 from the Electron. Move those links to these pins here and you're powering the +1 from this regulator. This regulator also powers the output 5 volt connector. And that's it in a nutshell. I think it's a good addition to the Electron. People do complain about lack of cartridge slots, and there we have it. If there's any more questions, you can get in contact with me through the messages on YouTube, or you can contact me via Stardot. The units are for sale now and currently only available on Stardot. They'll be available through eBay fairly soon. Thank you.